Please all rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you'd all please remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of our servicemen and women and those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. Clerk may call the roll.
Thank you. Councilor Cologne Hayes. Here. Councilor Condon.
Here.
Councilor Crowe.
Here.
Councilor Linehan. Here. Councilor McDonald. Councilor McDonald is here somewhere. Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Seeker. Here. Councilor Simonelli. Here. Councilor Spatafora. Here. Councilor Winslow. Here. Council President Murphy.
Here. For those in attendance under the open meeting laws, please be advised that this session is being recorded by UMA Television, so there will be audio and video. First order of business.
First order of business is public comment, and we have 5 people that have signed in.
Okay, if you would so anyone who has signed up for public comment, so that they know, public comment is limited to a maximum of 2 minutes per individual speaker. When you come to the podium, if you would please clearly state your name and address for the record. We would appreciate it. The first person on the list?
Drew Colbert.
Drew Colbert.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, 1
sir.
second, let me get your, I'm sorry, we're getting the timer and forgot to put that on. Thank you.
Council President Murphy, Councilor Sika, members of the City Council, and members of the public. Tonight, I am submitting public comment for agenda item number 236-23. My name is Drew Colbert, and I'm a Vice President at Wynn Development, a Boston-based, family-owned, mixed-income housing owner and operator. Wynn is co-developing the final phase of Overlook Ridge with Veris Residential, formerly known as Roseland. Wynn and Veris have been working collaboratively with the cities of Malden and Revere on this important mixed-use, mixed-income project. On May 17th, the Joint Planning Task Force, comprised of Malden and Revere city officials, elected officials, resident representatives, approved a revised master plan. The rezoning is required as the RQ3 subdistrict was not originally programmed for residential. The proposed change will enable a limited service hotel and small retail space, the first of its kind 55 and older age-restricted mixed-income housing, affordable housing, workforce housing, and market rate housing. All income-restricted housing would have a local preference for Malden residents. Long-awaited local and regional Route 1 improvements and Salem Street signalization will be completed with this final phase. We are very appreciative of your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to enter the public comment to the record.
Absolutely. You may bring it up here. Give it to our clerk. Thank you very much.
Next person is Daniel Oceanary.
Daniel. Oh.
Cornerstone, yes. Bold Street? Bold Street, yeah. Bold Street,
Okay. Daniel, hopefully, if I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, Oceanaro?
Daniel Oceanary.
Daniel Oceanari?
Hector. Okay. I don't see Hector either. They may have
Hector.
stepped out for a minute, so should we circle back to them? Daniel?
Are you Daniel?
Attorney Oceanary, yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, so you've been called first. I don't know if you heard, if you were in here when I announced the public comment is limited to 2 minutes per person.
I was listening, yes.
Okay, and if you could state your name and address for the record, please.
Attorney Daniel Lucina, 90 American Legion Highway, Revere, Massachusetts. State your name and address.
Hector Zavala, 3 Verge Street Place, Lynn, Massachusetts.
Will you let me know when the time starts?
It's
Started?
it'll start right now.
Okay,
Go.
so I understand my client, he petitioned for to renew his secondhand license, secondhand dealer's license. I understand that he had a meeting before the License Commission on 5/23, and I had an opportunity to speak with the investigative officers this afternoon, as well as reviewed all of the reports and the summary that was submitted to the License Commission on May 23rd. And I certainly understand the suggestion and the issues that this council may see with this renewal. I can't honestly defend the folks that are coming into these pawn shops. It's a certain class or certain subsect of people that frequent these type of businesses. My client, which I was just speaking to him, has to use a little bit of judgment on who he chooses to engage with these transactions. As I spoke with the officers this afternoon, technically he's not breaking the law, but we understand that there's ways that you can circumvent the law in this industry that certainly he needs to take a second look at. And all I'm asking is that instead of denying his petition and denying his renewal, ask that we put him on a 3 to 6 month probationary period so that he has an opportunity to revisit his practices and change the way that he does business or who he chooses to do business with, and become a partner of the city of Malden as opposed to just simply operating as an independent and doing transactions all over the place. He's under very strict rules and regulations. He's the only pawn shop in the city that has to operate and report daily to the Malden Police Department. So with that supervision, or under those guys, that he can certainly review his practices and change them and do better. He tells me he just signed a 2-year lease 2 months prior to submitting his, so denying his renewal would cost him catastrophically. It would put him in a dire financial situation he's extremely concerned about. So my hope is that you would reconsider or keep an open mind to this business and allow him to be on a probationary period for the next 3 to 6 months and call him back in here and ask the officers, has there been any changes before we put him out of business tonight? That's all.
Yeah, it's Pinhone. Pinhone. Yes.
And I'm Mary, just underneath there. We thought that was an attendance register. We don't have a public comment.
Yeah.
We've been to public
Yeah.
meetings and have always signed in,
Yeah,
and
I'm
that's
sorry.
all that we were doing.
Thank you.
That's,
Blouts, Mary, Susan Blouts.
Mary Susan Blout.
That's you.
Oh, okay.
got it. And also, is Timothy part of it? Okay, got it.
Okay. Not a problem. It can be confusing, so, okay.
With that, public comment is over.
Yes, okay, that is the end of our public comment. Next order of business, please.
Approval of minutes, paper 231-23, minutes for the meeting of May 23rd, 2023. Paper 232-23, minutes for the meeting of May 30th, 2023.
Councilor Winslow has his light on.
Yeah, no, just a motion to approve. Yeah.
Oh, okay. On Councilor Winslow's motion to approve, seconded by Councilor Seeka. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Both sets of minutes are approved.
Should we take the minutes of May 9th off the table and just approve those, or are we waiting on this?
I'm going to wait because it was Councilor O'Malley who actually asked to put them on the table so he would have time to review them, and he's not here this evening.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I know, but he's not here, so just out of courtesy. Okay. So, we'll just leave it on the table if there's no objection. So, thank you. Next order of business, please.
Council will hold a public hearing on the petition to extend the special permit granted in paper 202-22 to allow marijuana retail use at 36 Charles Street.
Okay, clerk, would you please read the paper?
Paper 233-23 petition, extension of an additional 9 months on special permit as was approved by Council Paper 202-22, issued to DMS Trinity LLC of 36 Charles Street, allowing for a marijuana establishment.
Okay. We have the Trinity folks here, and we also have Michelle Romero, our city planner, is here with the planning board. Recommendation is here if we do need it. Okay.
Nelson's here, too.
And I'm sorry, and our building commissioner Nelson Miller is here, so we do have a number of people here to be able to speak on it. So we are going to have a public hearing. Pardon me? Okay. So this is a public hearing. I am going to open the public hearing. So officially, I declare the public hearing open. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this petition, please come to the podium. Once again, state your name and address for the record clearly. And there is no time limit on this. Yep, hold on. I got it. I got it. I know. Mr. DeMarco, if you would.
Good evening, Madam President and City Council members. Roberto DeMarco, 17 Division Street, Malden, Massachusetts, business owner at 350 Main Street, 3rd floor of Foster Walker and DeMarco, also in Malden. I stand here before you to request that the council issue an extension on the special permit. I was here before you at the granting of the special permit, and at the time, we talked about the fact that this was a unique small business. They have entered into a field that is populated by a lot of well-funded, well-organized, larger entities out there that are making inroads into the cannabis industry. The retail world changed appreciably, as did the construction world, since that day that you approved us. And during that time, they have continued to work. They have expended in excess of $400,000 thus far on the planning phase and getting their bids and the rest of their preliminary construction work done. But it has taken time. The world got a little bit upended over the past few years. Construction costs went up by approximately 14% under some estimates, and in excess of that, they also had delays in supply chain. All of this has caused them significant delays. Their project in Chelsea that they are undergoing now is under construction. That also got delayed, but they were able to pull the trigger because they got approved just before this. So we're expecting that we're going to move forward. We asked for a very short extension. We only asked for 9 months, but the planning board recommended a year. We plan to have this thing moving forward in the fall. That is what everything points to. We do have to finalize a few of our investors, some of whom got a little tired of the long wait that occurred, but we are working diligently. These people have been tireless in their efforts, and I would ask you to take a little bit of consideration of that effort and grant them some extra time so that they can complete this project. They are good people, they are good owners, and they will be good partners to this city. I am available for any questions that the council may have.
Councilor Crowe. Well, 1 second, Councilor Crowe. There you go.
I don't actually have any questions, but, you know, we do routinely extend special permits, especially anyone that's done any construction, even just a home repair project. You know, extensions really are a way of life these days, so I am in full favor of supporting this extension for 9 months.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Councilor Crowe. Councilor Simonelli?
Thank you, Madam President. And that was my only concern, was the ward councilor. If the ward councilor is for it, I'm on board.
Thank you, Councilor Simonelli. Councilor Sika?
Thank you, Council President. Attorney DeMarco. I have a couple of questions. I am all for approving a delay in this, but I have a couple of things that I'd like to possibly address this evening. So I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. I think people are under the impression that the City Council has halted the process for DMS Trinity, and I don't technically think that that is the case here. The CLEC approved DMS Trinity on March 31st of 2021.
Yes,
Okay, so that was over 2 years ago.
yes.
Okay, and then we granted the special permit on April 26th of 2022.
Yes.
Okay, so that was just a little over a year ago. So Chelsea's, the dates that I got offline for Chelsea, they're actually, I'm not really sure. I think their process is a little different than Malden.
It is
There's
different.
like an HCA certification on 5/25/21. You must have had to do a community outreach before and get a provisional CCC approval. And then you just got granted on March 16th of 2023?
It's a very different process.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It is.
And I tried to figure out the difference between us, but it's
a different
lot
process, and there is absolutely, and I speak on behalf of my clients, they're all here, there is nothing that this city did that delayed.
Okay.
Okay? What happened was very clearly that the process was new. We were dealing with a bunch of different issues that cropped up. We worked as diligently as we can, but once again, this is a small business. Things take a little bit of extra time.
No, and that's fine. I just want to make the public aware that it was nothing that any of us 11 councilors up here have done, because over the course of just the past couple of weeks, I've read articles that you went to Chelsea because Malden was taking too long. So I just want to be, I want everybody to understand that that's not technically the case. You were approved 2 years ago. And then there was issues with your community outreach meetings. We had to have a few of them for whatever reason. Then the special permit came and, due to the construction costs and the supply chains. I get all that. My husband is a general contractor, so I get it. I just wanted to, I have no problem with allowing you the extra 12 months that you need. I read somewhere that it said 9, but it's actually...
We only asked for 9, but the city...
we do every 12.
That's correct.
Okay, all right, so I just wanted to be certain of that, and I just wanted to set the record straight that none of us have hindered this process for DMS Trinity.
No, we took a very measured approach from the beginning. This is once again,
Okay.
it's a small business. I represent a lot of them. They take a different timeline than companies that are well-organized, well-funded,
Understandable.
under a
I just
hierarchy.
wanted to
It's a little different.
let everybody know that, this had nothing to do with the Malden CLEC, the planning board, the city council. I thought that this process actually went pretty smoothly after your first interview. The second interview went a lot better, and that's why you were moved forward at that point, so.
We did have 2 interviews, for the record.
Yes, you did.
The first interview, there was a decision that we were still missing a couple of issues.
Yep.
We went back, we replanned, we came forward, we got approved.
Agreed. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Councilor Seega. Councilor Clone Hayes?
Thank you. I'm also fully in support of this. I just also wanted to hear from the ward counselor. I checked in with her. Just for anybody who might be listening, nothing has changed in the plans. It's just an extension.
That's correct.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Seeing no other lights, I would just ask, is there anyone else here who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Anyone else who would like to come forward and speak in favor of this petition? Okay. Seeing none and hearing none, I will ask one more time, is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Seeing none and hearing none, I declare this portion of the public hearing closed, and we will move on to the next portion. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to this petition? Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to this petition? Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to this petition? Hearing none and seeing none, I declare that portion of the public hearing closed, and I will open the conversation to the floor. Councilor Crowe?
I just want to make a motion to approve.
I would just ask,
Yep.
would anyone here like to make it 12 months?
Yeah.
No,
It says 9. I do think we should make it 12.
9, but planning board recommendation was 12. I'm just saying, would we like to amend
I make a
the
motion to, approve for 12-month extension.
Okay. Okay, so on Councilor Crow's motion to extend the petition for 12 months, seconded by Councilor Sika, the clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Cologne Hayes. Yes. Counselor Condon. Yes. Counselor Crowe.
Yes.
Counselor Linehan. Yes. Counselor McDonald. Yes. Counselor Sika. Yes. Counselor Simonelli.
Yes.
Counselor Spatafora. Yes. Counselor Winslow. Yes. Council President Murphy.
Yes. So on Councilor Crow's motion to approve the petition as amended, seconded by Councilor Sika, clerk will call the roll. No, we just amended it. We amended the
You didn't amend, you amended the petition.
petition, right. Now I want to approve the petition. It was to amend the paper, the motion to 12, from 9 to 12 months. That's what we just voted on.
Now you call the roll for the rest.
Would you like to, should we do it again? Well, no, we,
You're not actually amending the petition. You were approving her motion. Her motion was to approve for 12 months. That's what you just voted on, I thought.
all right, well, we're going to do it one more time just to make sure. Okay, so on
I don't
Councilor
think-
Crow's
We're
motion,
not actually amending the petition, is what I'm saying. The petition is the petition. They submitted their application for 9 months. You're going over and above with a motion to approve for 12. So I don't think an amendment is necessary, is what I was trying to
all
say.
right, well, we did amend it, so we're covered there. So now we're just going to, now
So
we're
how you
just
just
going to
voted
approve.
out, right? Now you just voted out.
Now we're just going
As
to vote
amended.
it out as amended.
Right.
Counselor Cologne Hayes.
So there's no problem.
Counselor Condon.
Yes.
Counselor Crowe. Yes. Counselor Linehan. Yes. Counselor McDonald. Yes. Counselor Sika. Yes. Counselor Simonelli.
Yes.
Counselor Spatafora. Yes. Counselor Winslow. Yes. Council President Murphy.
Yes. Your petition has been approved. Hopefully, we'll see you open in the fall. But at least you have a little bit more time to make sure that it all works out. All right, where are we? Next order of business, please.
Paper 234-23, petition pool tables, Irish American, 177 West Street, Malden, 2 tables renewal.
Refer to license.
On Councilor Sika's motion to refer the petitions to license, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Petitions are referred to license.
Paper 235-23, order that City Engineer Yem Lip will appear before the Ordinance Committee for the purpose of reviewing, amending, and revising, if and as needed, MCC 11.28.010 Municipal Storm Drainage System and 11.28020 Stormwater Management and Land Disturbance Regulation.
Councilor Crowe.
Motion to refer to ordinance.
Okay, on Councilor Crow's motion to refer to ordinance, seconded by Councilor Winslow. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The paper has been referred to, oh, actually, we're supposed to adopt. Sorry. Hold this thought for 1 second, folks. Just for clarity, this is not a paper. This is just an order to have Yem Lip come before the ordinance committee. So it's a motion to adopt. Okay, so on motion to
Even
adopt,
better.
seconded by on Councilor Crow's motion to adopt, seconded by Councilor Winslow. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? It has been adopted.
Thank you. Paper 236-23, order. Be it ordained that the Code of the City of Malden, Title 12, Chapter 28, Section 140, Rose Quarry Reclamation and Redevelopment District, be hereby amended to allow multifamily dwelling use of property in the Rose Quarry Reclamation and Development District, Subdistrict RQ3, to amend use regulations, dimensional requirements, parking requirements, affordability, and inclusionary zoning requirements for development of property in the RQRRD Subdistrict RQ3, and to establish a 6-story maximum height for multifamily dwellings allowed by right and by site plan review in the RQRRD.
Councilor Sika for the paper. I don't know what I did, Data.
Thank you. I'm going to be referring this to a joint planning and ordinance committee meeting, but I just wanted to say a few things about it really
Do
quickly.
you want to amend it too?
I want to amend it, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
See, I had a lot of things to research today. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to add the amendment. The following provision as proposed new subsection 12.28.140.C.4.E, local preference for Malden residents. To the maximum extent permitted by law, preference for Malden residents shall be given for affordable housing units and age-restricted housing units in the RQ3. We were under a little bit of a deadline last week when we were trying to get it on the agenda for Thursday, so we missed that spot, but I think it's a welcomed amendment, since, of course, everybody would want affordable housing to go, the preference to be for Malden residents. So I'm hoping that that amendment will be okay. And really quickly, I just wanted to say a few things after Drew got up. Mayor Gary Christensen and I, along with the building commissioner Nelson Miller, have been meeting with Wind Development for the past few months, several months. I can't even keep track, time's flying by. And we're excited to possibly finally get the final phase of this development done. Rose Quarry has been a 20-plus year project in the making. I came into it about 10 years ago, and I'm extremely excited for what Wynn has put forward for us. Right now, this parcel is, the last lot is currently only zoned for commercial, and we're looking to switch it up and add some affordable housing units, some 55 and over, along with a hotel, which would be the first in Malden. We do not have a hotel currently in the city. Those are motels. They're not hotels. It's different. Believe it or not, it is a different thing. So it would be the first hotel that the city of Malden would have, so I'm excited about that. But it's also talking with a bunch of state and local officials to change the on and off ramp of Route 1 over there off of Salem Street. So that is huge. A few years back, the state took it off their list, and I never expected that I would see it in my lifetime. So to actually be discussing it again a few years later, I think that it's very much welcome. So I look forward to discussing this further in the planning board. So motion to refer to planning and ordinance as amended.
So motion to amend the paper first.
Okay.
On a motion to amend the paper, seconded by Councilor Sika. Clerk will call the roll.
Councilor Cologne Hayes, this is to amend. Councilor Cologne Hayes. Yes. Voting to amend the paper. Councilor Condon. Yes. Councilor Crowe. Yes. Councilor Linehan. Yes. Councilor McDonald. Yes. Councilor O'Malley. I'm sorry. Councilor Sika.
Yes.
Councilor Simonelli. Yes. Councilor Spatafora.
Yes.
Councilor Winslow. Yes. Council President Murphy.
Yes. So now,
Motion to refer to joint planning and ordinance.
on Councilor Sika's motion to amend, to refer the amended paper to a joint planning and ordinance committee meeting. All in favor? Seconded by Councilor Crowe. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The paper has been referred. Okay.
Paper 237-23, order. Be it ordained by the Malden City Council that the Code of the City of Malden be hereby amended by updating Title II, Chapter 24, Section 060, Police Patrolman Salary Schedule.
I'd like to
Counselor
refer to
Crowe's.
ordinance, well, maybe an ordinance and finance.
Ordinance and Finance, yes.
Yeah.
So on Counselor Crow's motion to refer the paper to Joint Ordinance and Finance Committee meeting, seconded by Counselor Simonelli. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Opposed, nay. The paper has been referred. Yes.
I just wanted to note that paper 237 should really have Councilor Crowe as the primary sponsor, and we had gone over this in email as the chair of ordinance, so I just want to make sure that gets reflected in the future. I think we talked about that, so I just want to make sure that's captured.
Yes, change will be made.
Thank you.
Yes. Next paper, please.
Paper 238-23, order that the sum of $350,000 is transferred from salary reserve to police labor salaries.
Counselor McDonald.
Yes, motion to refer to finance.
On Counselor McDonald's motion to refer to Finance and Ordinance, Joint Finance and Ordinance, Counselor McDonald.
Mine is going there, so why don't I do this?
So is that, I'm sorry, is that the correct thing? Because last time when we went through this, we talked about how the ordinance gets jointly approved by ordinance and finance, but not necessarily the appropriation itself. So does the joint finance and ordinance approve both the ordinance change and the appropriation order? Is that the intent? What's the key process here?
I would send it to both. In that meeting, Finance Committee will approve the finance piece. Okay, but just for time's sake, where we only have a few meetings left, I wouldn't try to schedule two. I'd try to get everybody in the room together and just do it.
Absolutely. We will absolutely schedule them back to back. But my question is, does the appropriation order actually get sent to both committees, or does it just get sent to the finance?
It would just go to finance if you wanted to.
Well, I want to do it the thing that we should do. I just don't know what that is.
Just finance.
Just finance.
Okay.
All right, so we'll send it to just finance.
So I will then have a motion to refer that to finance. And I will follow up with the clerk to make sure we get in writing how we treat these, so we're doing it consistently. I just want to be consistent about it.
Do we have a second?
Do we have a second? Seconded by Councilor Cologne Hayes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The paper has been referred to finance.
Thank you.
Okay, next order of business,
Paper
please.
239-23, committee report, the Standing Committee on License, to whom was referred paper 157, series of 2023, having considered the same, make the following report, that this petition be reported out unfavorably to the full council.
Motion to receive the committee report.
On Councilor Seeker's motion to receive the committee report, seconded by Councilor Simonelli. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Committee report has received. Councilor Seeker for the paper.
Tongue twister, isn't it?
Yes, and if you'd please read it.
Paper
Clerk.
157-23, petition, second-hand dealer Cash King LLC, 41 Lebanon Street, Malden. This is a renewal.
Councilor Seeker.
Thank you. So this is a little bit unusual for us because we don't usually recommend favorably to unfavorably to not renew a license. So I've actually asked some members of the Malden Police Department here to join us this evening if anybody is, if everybody is okay with them speaking, so they can kind of let the members who were not on the committee at the last few meetings to understand why exactly we did what we did during those meetings. So Detective Richie Fitzpatrick, who wants to come?
Detective, if you would please state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes. Good evening, Council President Murphy. Good evening, council members. My name is David Ritchie, crime analyst, City of Malden, 800 Eastern Avenue.
Thank you. You have the floor. Do we have any questions?
Yep. We're going to just have you give us a little brief synopsis of what has currently been going on at Cash Kings, so the whole council can decide for themselves if they would like to renew this license or not.
Yes, thank you, Councilor Seeker. Good evening, members. I'm the analyst in the police department, retired detective sergeant of Malden Police. I came under the instruction and duty, responsibility to monitor all the pawn shops in the city of Malden, record all things, and I do submit pawn sheets to the Commonwealth Fusion Center for review, and that is a large organization. I was given the task to monitor these pawn shops closely. In monitoring 41 Lebanon Street, Cash King, I noticed the inordinate amount far exceeding two of the other more prominent pawn shops which are located on Pleasant Street. They exceed them to such an extent that I had email contact with Hector Zavala, and I requested that he submit the pawn sheets on a daily basis to me. I then advised my supervisors, Captain Mark Gatcomb, commander of the Detective Division, Detective Lieutenant Michael Powell, and Detective Sergeant Stephen Fitzpatrick. I advised them of my notations, my observations, and we sat and had a meeting with regards to this, and they instructed me to monitor it closely for any irregularities. I continued to do the other pawn shops in the same respect as I would ordinarily. What I began to notice was the extreme amount of visitors to the shop, and that all of the items seemed to be tools, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and they all appeared to be in box, new. There was very few other transactions as opposed to the pawn shops in Pleasant Street, Golden Diamond and Art Carl, which take in a whole host of old jewelry and things such as that. This was extremely specific. I notified my superiors and asked for advice as to what I should do, and they instructed me that they will reach out and have Mr. Zavala in just to speak with him. Subsequent to that, because the activity continued, my supervisors and I arranged a meeting with two of the prominent big box stores, Home Depot and Target, and we arranged to have their loss prevention personnel come and have a meeting. My colleague, Detective Sergeant Stephen Fitzpatrick, conducted extensive surveillance at the shop and noticed numerous people, young people, going in and out with tools in box. This continued. My colleague that works in loss prevention, Rebecca Sperling, and the colleague from Target, they conducted surveillance also and observed people coming from the two box stores, having stolen the items in box, and then traveling directly to 41 Lebanon Street and trading, going in, exiting, without holding anything in their hands. I was able to note further that in conversations with my colleague, Detective Sergeant Stephen Fitzpatrick, and his surveillance, that we both came to the conclusion there are no other people such as average, everyday construction or people involved in just industry traveling to that shop. These were all people going there daily. I did notice continually over a period of time, and I paid particular attention on a regular basis, and noticed the same people day after day after day coming in with in-box. On several occasions, in particular, one woman would come to the shop several times in a day trading in-box. I then began, at the instruction of my supervisors, to engage in a criminal history check of many of these people that Detective Sergeant Stephen Fitzpatrick recorded registration plate numbers to determine their past. And I was able to determine with accuracy that many of these people had arrests and convictions for the crime in particular of receiving stolen property. We continued with this investigation, and ultimately I prepared a document which I believe that you as the council members may have before you. we had the license hearing, and I had particular questions that I posed to Mr. Zavala. And I came to the conclusion, as did my colleagues in the Detective Division, that this activity is at best illegal, and that I was able to come to a logical conclusion and draw an inference that these items are in fact traveling from inbox new tools from the big box stores of Home Depot and Target, being traded for U.S. currency. And one of the questions I posed to Mr. Zavala was, why would a person purchase, if in fact it was a purchase a tool such as saws or other battery-operated tools at Home Depot or Target, purchased for, let's say, $250 or $300, get in their vehicle and travel to Cash King and walk in with that box and then trade it for money less than what they purchased for. My investigation at the instruction of my colleagues and my supervisors were to monitor the cities where these people traveled from. Many were from New Hampshire. Many were from long distances, South Shore, the North Shore, Springfield, and it was just continuous. So to sum up, my colleagues and I came to the same conclusion that I came to, is that the activity there is criminal activity. Now, speaking of the two other pawn shops, Golden Diamond and Art Carl, I have been in this role as a crime analyst for 4.5 years, and from the day I began, I was given the task of monitoring the pawn shops. I have only been in Golden Diamond once, as well as just once at Art Carl, and those were for requests from detectives from another city just to examine what they suspected to be stolen jewelry. In my investigation, ruled that they were not. So I conclude my statements at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. Do we have, I see a few lights. Councilor Hayes, you had your light on first. I already have your mic on. Well, I did have it on. Okay, I guess it got shut off again. Okay.
Okay,
There you go.
thank you very much. So I was at the license hearing where we heard all of the data and the reports and everything based on, and your professional opinion, and voted not to renew this. So I just have a question for you, based on your experience and your professional opinion that you were just saying, on attorney, I think it was Osena, on behalf of Cashkin owner, where they had proposed a trial period of 3 to 6 months. What would be your professional opinion on that?
With all due respect, Madam Council President and members of the City Council, I would defer from answering either way. I would allow you that decision. In speaking with my supervisors, we hold no grudge or any issue with Mr. Zavala. We wished him previously to have success in this business, and I know in conversation with Detective Lieutenant Powell that he has engaged in conversation with Mr. Zavala with respect to the clientele who visited his store on a regular basis. So I would defer respectfully.
Okay, no, that's okay. Thank you.
Can I ask a point of information really quickly? Just
Councilor Seeger, let me
that pertains to her.
Yes, Councilor Seeger.
Her
yes.
question. So really quickly, how long have you been doing surveillance of Cash Kings, roughly? How many months?
Well, we began in January of 2022.
January of 2022?
Yes, and we had a meeting with my colleagues from Loss Prevention in July of 2022. And I have continued on a regular basis. I should add that Mr. Zavala's business, Cash King, is open 7 days a week to include holidays. This is in comparison to Art Carl and Golden Diamond.
So one other quick question. I'm pretty sure.
Question or a point of interest?
Well, it kind of ties in with hers, so I apologize. I apologize, Councilor Winslow. Mr. Zavala has known about the surveillance going on in his store. So a 3 to 6 month probationary period, he's kind of had a year and a half. He's known that the Malden Police Department was doing surveillance at this particular location. Multiple detectives went in and spoke to him and told him of his dealings, and he has still continued to deal with these people. Am I correct?
Yes, and I can recall one specific instance in my conversations with my colleague, Detective Sergeant Fitzpatrick, where he began a moving surveillance of Mr. Zavala. Detective Sergeant Fitzpatrick was by himself, and he followed him through Malden in towards Lynn, a very circuitous route, and then at a rotary, I believe that Mr. Zavala became aware that he was being surveilled, and he altered his driving pattern.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Cologne Hayes, yes, I thought you were done. I was actually just going to Councilor Winslow, but you still have the floor
Yes,
if you'd like it.
thank you. I understand that. I was just asking because it just the request was based on new knowledge that he heard and some feedback that he got from us, whether or not we would entertain a 3 to 6 months. I'm not putting that on the table. It was just asking what your professional opinion is, and I respect that you respectfully don't want to answer that, so.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Councilor Cologne Hayes. Councilor Winslow.
So there was surveillance since January 2022. And was there, I mean, I know sometimes with criminal investigations, you're not going to tip off people, right? So I'm just curious in this instance where we're getting daily reports. Was that a change? Like Art Carl, they don't do daily reports. Was that something that the petitioner would have been aware of, that this was a change in the intensity of the review? I mean, so is that, what's the typical review of like Art Carl in terms of, do they have to report daily to the police, or how often do they have to report?
Councilor Winslow, Art Carl and Golden Diamond submit perhaps once a week, and their items may be 9 items or maybe 12 items, depending.
And so in this instance, so this Cash King had started off with that pattern. Because of your concern, the Malden police said they needed to start following on a daily basis.
Yes, I brought the sheer volume that was coming in over an extended period was very difficult for me to look at. So I presented it to my supervisors, who then instructed me to advise in an email to Mr. Zavala to please submit at the close of business each day.
And when was that email? After it was at, how far after January?
I believe it was prior to January of this year, at least.
So
Yes.
it's been, since that email, this pattern of purchases has continued?
They have, the purchase, the transactions, the pawn transactions have been consistently lengthy on a daily basis, and that's going back more than a year.
So, but just after the change in how frequently they had to report, were they still purchasing in-box stuff after that?
Yes, that has remained throughout.
So they sort of had a red flag from the Malden police. We're looking at something pretty serious, and they continue to take something that was probably obvious to most people, was a pattern of new goods being sold, and it didn't make any sense.
Councilor Winslow, my colleagues did not specifically present to him, to my knowledge, of you're taking in-box items that we believe to be stolen. There were other issues that came up that we wanted to say that it was stressed to him, particularly by Lieutenant Michael Powell. We want you to run your business honestly and not interact with any people or engage in any transactions that you find suspicious in any way. And that was stressed on more than one occasion.
So he had fair warning from the Malden Police as well as this more intense scrutiny, and that, I mean, I think it's sort of coming onto our judgment is that sale, a purchase of inbox stuff, something that is suspicious. I think that's kind of what our judgment is here. So, all right, thank you, great.
Yes.
So, great. Okay. So, and Councilor Sika and the licensing committee, so since the licensing committee meeting, there has not been further, you know, there's not I know we had some issues with the auto folks that had to come up and pay up on their money, and we sort of tabled things, and ultimately they came in and complied. This isn't a circumstance where there's been that type of thing between the petitioner and the Malden Police to making sure they come in compliance. Like there's still, the Malden Police did not sort of, or the licensing committee didn't kind of do a probation before sending it back up to you or anything like that. So this is, like I say, I know in the case of the car lot dealers, you know, there was the one on Broadway where he was way behind on his taxes, and we weren't.
That's totally different than this.
No, I'm just saying, but that was given compliance. I mean, like I say, so I'm just, the licensing committee and the Malden Police have not, they didn't give a compliance window, and they didn't follow that. I'm just trying to understand what happened in license. So you reviewed this information, and the decision is to recommend unfavorably, and there's nothing outstanding that the Malden Police or the licensing committee asked the petitioner to do before this came up. I'm just trying to understand. So there's nothing that happened in license that should be further considered other than this information that was presented. I'm just trying to understand that, like I say, because license came very close to denying that car dealership license or whatever because of the back taxes. So I'm just wondering. Yeah, and there wasn't so I'm just trying to understand. Is there?
Okay, so we have a question. So, Councilor Sika, was there anything?
No, I
done
think
in
that,
license?
I think that the two matters are totally different circumstances.
I know they're totally different circumstances. I just want to make sure there was no representation at license or from the Malden Police to the petitioner that there was any other period that's all. I mean, so there wasn't.
Just basically, I think what he's saying is, in license, you did not have a period of time where you said to him, you know, change your ways.
Yeah.
We'll give you 30 days.
Well, it was spoken up in both meetings that we had regarding this matter that he was well aware, he was made well aware by multiple detectives that were doing surveillance on this establishment that he should stop accepting these particular brand-new inbox tools, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And now that his license is on the line, he's willing to do so.
So no, I understand, but there was, like I say, in the case of the car dealership, there was.
That's irrelevant, and we shouldn't even be discussing. That's back taxes.
Excuse me.
I just want to be clear that the license. Sorry.
Stop.
Okay, great. Sorry, Barbara.
It's irrelevant, though.
Okay, whether it's irrelevant or not, we are not going to argue or speak over each other. So Councilor Winslow has the floor, and then I will give the floor to you, Councilor Sika, to respond. We will not talk over each other.
So all right, I guess I'm satisfied the license committee and the Malden Police did not make any representations since to the petitioner. That's just my understanding from your conversation. That's all I'm trying to understand.
We did not. After
Okay,
hearing,
thanks. That's all I
hearing
needed.
all the evidence
Yeah.
that they have
That's all I needed.
compacted, we voted unanimously
All right, thank you.
not to renew this license.
Thank you, Councilor Window. Thank you, Councilor Sika. Councilor Condon.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm not sure how many councilors here have ever dealt with Detective Ritchie, but he's one of the most highly respected members of the police department that I've ever come across in my over 30 years of as a city council. And he's very feared, too. there's no question in my mind something was going on there. I think he probably even knew he was being watched, you know, from listening to other detectives. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm supporting refusing that license, and quite honestly, I don't want to see him back in the city. So. Yeah, I would make that as a motion.
So we have a motion on the floor to deny the license, seconded by Councilor Condon, seconded by Councilor Winslow. Councilor Simonelli, your light was on, then it went off. Do you wish to speak?
Not anymore.
Okay. Okay, so seeing no other lights, we have a motion on the floor. Clerk, I'd like you to call the roll on this one, please. So this is on, just to be clear, this is on a motion, on motion to deny the petition.
Counselor Cologne Hayes. Yes. Counselor Condon.
Yes.
Counselor Crowe. Yes. Counselor Linehan. Yes. Counselor McDonald.
Yes.
Counselor Seega.
Yes.
Counselor Simonelli.
Yes.
Counselor Spatafora.
Yes.
Counselor Winslow.
Yes.
Counsel President Murphy.
Yes, the petition is denied. Thank you, Detective. Next order of business, please.
Paper 240-23, Committee Report, the Standing Committee on License, to whom was referred papers 159, 173, 192, 193, 194, 195, 196, series of 2023, having considered the same, make the following report that these petitions be reported out favorably to the full council.
On Councilor Seeker's motion to receive the committee report, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Committee report is received. Councilor Seeker for the committee. Oh, actually, Clerk, if you please read the paper.
Paper 159-23, petition, self-service gas station, Gibbs Oil Company, LP, 728 Main Street, Malden, renewal. Paper 173-23, petition, outdoor parking, TJ Automotive Corp., 315 Pleasant Street, 20 spaces, renewal. Paper 192-23, petition, livery, Amarjot Singh, 228 Pearl Street, Malden, one vehicle, new. Paper 193-23, petition, outdoor parking, Andy Service Center, Inc., 356 Lebanon Street, 12 spaces, renewal. Paper 194-23, petition, outdoor parking, Malden Metal Sex Motor Sales, 35 Canal Street, 10 spaces, renewal. Paper 195-23, petition, pool tables, L&K, billiard pool hall, 94B, Pleasant Street, 7 tables, renewal. Paper 196-23, petition, secondhand dealer, Great Eastern Vintage, 258 Highland Avenue, renewal.
Councilor Seeker for the paper, for the committee.
Thank you. Could show them like that.
I could do that.
Thank you, Council President. The License Committee met a couple of weeks ago regarding all of these matters. They're pretty much all renewals, except one is new. Compliance had no issues or they didn't see anything wrong with these particular new ones, so there was a unanimous vote to grant them favorably. Motion to grant.
Motion to grant the petitions. All those in favor? Seconded by Councilor Simonelli. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The petitions have been granted. Next order of business.
Docket's clear.
The docket is clear. Councilor.
I have one quick
Councilor
thing.
Simonelli, did you?
I'll yield.
No, I was just, you were first, but then you kind of lost you.
Well, I just have a tabling, something
Oh,
to
you
take
have
off the
a
table.
oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Winslow. Okay, Councilor Winslow.
No, this paper 20523 is not relevant anymore now that we voted on the matter, so I just vote to put that on file.
Okay.
Second that.
Would you,
That was the motion to possibly take the paper out of finance.
okay, so motion to place on file?
Well, we need to take it off the table.
Take a
And
motion,
then-
okay, on Councilor Winslow's motion to take paper 205-23 off the table, seconded by Councilor Simonelli. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Paper is off the table. On Councilor Winslow's motion, seconded by Councilor Simonelli, to place the paper on file. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The paper has been placed on file. Okay. Now, The next person who was first in line was Councilor Simonelli. So Councilor Simonelli, this, we're personal privilege, everyone, so.
Thank you, Madam President. And I just want to say thank you to the Malden Police Department, particularly Officer Washington and the chief for, starting up the community policing down at the Bolton Apartments. And I want to put a big shout out there to the mayor's office for assisting on this. With the wind development folks down at Bolton Apartments. So we've got a lot of programs going on for the summer, and you don't have to be from the Bolton Street Apartments. You don't have to be a tenant of the Bolton Street Apartments to partake in these programs and events. You just gotta be from the neighborhood. So I just want to thank them for that, and things are going great. And anybody that's watching this that's from the neighborhood, go down there and check out some of the programs that they're having down there. I think you'll be excited. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Simonelli. Councilor Crowe.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to announce that we will be having our annual Flag Day ceremony on Wednesday, June 14th, Flag Day, at 5 p.m. at Bell Rock Memorial Park. Consider yourself all invited. I'll send out an email just as a reminder. We do have the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts and, the Honor Guards and the Malden High Chorus and Band that joins us every year. So it's a brief ceremony, but an important ceremony under the Watchful Eye of the Flag Defenders Monument. So I hope to see you all there.
Thank you, Councilor Crowe. Councilor Linehan.
Thank you, Madam President. I have just two quick things. I'm sure Councilor McDonald will touch on this as well, but I wanted to give one last reminder. Porch Fest is this weekend, though forecast looks awesome. If anybody is looking to plan their day, their route, maldenporchfest.com is the place to start. There is going to be a free trolley going around the city to encourage folks to, leave their car at home and explore neighborhoods that are outside of their immediate area. So we're really excited about that and want to thank the Mayor's office for supporting creating a hub at the Salemwood School and making the school available to us so that folks can hop on and hop off the trolley there, have restrooms, see some of the vendors that are tabling. And it was a huge success and a lot of fun last year, so I would encourage anybody to come out. There's also block parties. I think there's just about one in every neighborhood. Of course, Ward 3 has probably more than our fair share. We tend to turn it out for this. But yeah, just want to thank all the sponsors. It's not too late to sponsor if anybody is still looking to get involved, but mostly just wanted to invite the community to come out and have fun. It's an awesome day. It starts at noon and goes until 7 officially, but I know that some of those block parties will probably keep going until well after that. And then the second thing that I wanted to just share is that a few weeks ago you all supported us creating a poet laureate, and we were able to put together a committee to interview. We actually got a ton of candidates. I was very surprised at the response to that. So we did interview some of the candidates. We looked at all of the portfolios that came in, and we did make a selection. So I'm thrilled to announce that the poet C.D. Collins is our new poet laureate. C.D. was actually able to perform at the graduation this week on very short notice. So I think Uma recorded that. I don't know if the video is going to be shared online or not, but I did have a chance to watch it, and it was lovely. So thank you all for your support there. And did just want to say that C.D. mentioned having a deep understanding of spoken word and storytelling, which I know is something that we had a lot of robust discussion about. So fully confident that we'll be getting the full array of literary support from C.D. So thank you again.
Thank you, Councilor Linehan. Councilor Winslow.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a moment of silence for Eleanor Murley, who my former neighbor on Jacob Street, who passed away on May 28th. She was a great neighbor, very welcoming when we came to the neighborhood, and her daughter Kristen and her son-in-law Dan Jones, who was the Cincinnati Bengals after playing at Malden High, are mourning, as well as their son Donald. So I just wanted to have a moment of silence for Eleanor. Thank you. And then just one other thing, if you haven't had enough of us tonight, tomorrow night at 7 p.m., there's the MBTA Community Zoning meeting that's both in person and online, so go to the cityofmalden.org website to find out more about how to participate in that. You know, Councilor Spatafora and I have been sitting in on the meetings where we developed some of the alternatives. You know, there's a lot of options we have as a city, so there's a full range from several hundred homes that might be added to quite a bit more. So we really want community input on, you know, we basically have 7 possible zones we could look at, and some options on how much we do in each one of those zones. So definitely looking for community input on what people think that is. So hopefully everybody can participate and provide that input that we need as a council on that. Thank you. Great.
Thank you, Councilor Winslow. Councilor Hayes, Cologne Hayes, sorry.
Yes, good evening. I want to remind everybody that Juneteenth is coming up after Porch Fest the next weekend. It's Saturday, June 17th. It'll be at Lincoln Commons from 11 to 3. We're still looking for volunteers and also some community tables if anybody wants to come out and talk about their nonprofit. You can email me, or there is a Facebook page at Malden Juneteenth, and we can hook you up with that. So I hope just spread the word. And I want to congratulate C.D. Collins. She did do a good job, especially on short notice at the Malden High School graduation. It was great to see her. I've worked with her for many years, so I was surprised she kind of sprung that on us there, so that was great. And no, I will let Councilor McDonald, no, I mentioned all the Malden Pride events. I'm working on a vigil in June, and I've been posting all their events. I work with the committees, and they have Malden, I believe it's maldenpride.org, and they have done a fantastic calendar that they are listing everything and explaining all of the events in June for Malden Pride. So I've been really having a great time working with Cody and the rest of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Cologne Hayes. Councilor McDonald.
Yes, thank you. Happy Pride Month. And I wanted all my colleagues to know that I have extra Pride pin, progressive Pride flag lapel pins. If you would like one, I can give you one. So just see me after the meeting. They are free. I bought them with my own personal money. So that, and have been giving them out to people. So if you need one, you can let me know. I also had done American flag pins for Memorial Day. I guess I'm making a name for myself at this point. So yes, there are a lot of appreciation to the Malden Pride Organizing Committee, and there are 2 events coming up this weekend. The Drag Me to the Park and Drag Me to Brunch, I think is at Hugh O'Neill's on Sunday. And the largest upcoming event, in addition to the vigil that Councilor Cologne Hayes I know is working on, is the Pride in the Park event on June 25th, which I'm very sadly out of town and will have to miss. But encourage folks to come to all those events in the community. There's a lot of great organizing happening around that. On the finance side, I want to remind folks we'll be having our public hearing on the annual city budget next week. On June 13th, I believe it is 6 p.m. It's been duly noticed. So I encourage everyone to check out the ClearGov site. If you just go to cityofmalden.org/budget, you'll find the link and you'll be able to read all of the details about the proposed budget. I'm going to try to make sure we get the recordings available for the council meetings that we have had, the finance meetings we have had, if you want to dig a little more deeply, and I encourage our community members to come out and express your opinion about the annual budget process. And then, are you going to talk about Don Kincannon? Are you going to talk about Don Kincannon?
Are you going to talk about Don?
Yes. Okay, all right. So I will leave it there, and I will see you all. Oh, I will see you all at Porch Fest. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McDonald. Councilor Condon.
Thank you, Madam President. I hate to be redundant, but when you change your 4th of July from a park like Deva to Pearl Street, McDonald Stadium, and Callahan Park, you need to remind people. So we'll be running our 3rd and 4th July. When I say we, that's Councilor Crowe and myself. At Green Street, Monday, July 3rd, She'll be having her movie and passing out basketball trophies and popcorn that she personally makes. And then the next morning, we'll be hosting you at Callahan Park and be running the races at McDonald Stadium with Buddy Arthur as our referee. So we'll be having events most of the day, pony rides, ice cream trucks, and I hope you can join us. Thank you. And we are accepting volunteers to work with us. And what? And donations. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Conan. Councilor Sika.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to announce, I think Councilor Spatafora forgot, and I almost did too. Next Friday is already the last day of the school year, if you can believe it, in the city of Malden. Friday, June 16th, Councilor Spatafora and I will be bowling into summer with the students of Malden from 12 to 2 at our annual bowling event at the Town Line 10-pin at 665 Broadway. So we hope whoever has nothing to do next Friday afternoon, June 16th from 12 to 2, to join us for some free bowling. Thank you.
Is Councilor Clone-Hayes,
I'm still on, thank you.
you're still on, okay.
So I just received word from someone saying that they had written in some personal comments to the clerk on the stormwater item 235-23. So I'm not sure what happened with that. I think they said they might have directed it by accident to
They
Yem Lip.
directed that to our Director of Engineering and did not ask for it to be read into the
Okay,
comment
great.
tonight.
So I just wanted to make sure that there was nothing going on, so thank you for that.
But now that they're expressing their concern, I will save that and attach it to the paper.
Okay, perfect. They just wrote because of the connection to the stormwater and the Roosevelt Park flooding in the adjacent neighborhood, so thank you for checking into that.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Clone-Hayes. And from the chair, actually, that just dovetailed right into what I wanted to speak to when you talked about the last day of school. Yesterday, we had a wonderful event at the Forestdale School, and it all started 10 years ago when we were lucky enough in the city of Malden to hire Don Concannon from the city of Everett. We stole him away to be the principal of the Forestdale School. He is an exceptional educator. He's a mentor. He's a coach. He was just, as I said, a breath of fresh air that came into our school system and came into the Forestdale School. He provided an open door. He had an open door policy that welcomed not only the students and the teachers, but it welcomed the families and also myself as a counselor. It was always easy to work with him, work with the staff, engage with them on a number of projects, whether it was, looking at the swans, working with kindergarten class down at the Forestdale Cemetery. Principal Concannon is going to be sorely missed by me and by many others. He was a great leader. He instilled such confidence in his teachers. He wanted the children and the teachers to be the best that they possibly could be. And I'm happy for him as a friend that he's finally going to embrace retirement and spend some time with his lovely family, but sad as a Malden person that he's not going to be in our school system anymore. But he is going to be remembered, because I will say I have to give credit to school committee member Adam Weldi, who came up with the idea that we needed some way to honor Principal Concannon that would be a lasting memory. And so as you come down Sylvan Street and if you're coming from Forest and you take a left to go into the parking lot, that particular stretch of road has now been named Concannon Court. And it was dedicated to Principal Concannon yesterday. He was terribly surprised. It was very touching. All the children were out there. And we will all, as we walk down Concannon Court, always remember the impact that Principal Concannon has had on our community, on Ward 5, and on all of the students who have gone through the Forestdale School doors. So
Just wanted to kind of note that. So, a great, wonderful for him, but a great loss for the city, so.
Congratulations to all the Malden High grads.
Yes. Yes, so, with that, seeing no other lights and hearing nothing but a motion to adjourn by someone? Motion to adjourn by Councilor Winslow, seconded by Councilor Linehan. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.